Obviously, we're talking about one of the pound for pound biggest punchers. Welcome to another episode of Boxing Science Reacts. In this video, we're going to be covering the hard-hitting, lightweight and multiple weight champion, Gervonta Davis. Okay, so we're kicking off with some heavy bench press action, which is quite refreshing to see. A lot of boxers kind of shy away from maximal strength training and max force output, and this is what you need to be able to transfer into fast and hard punches. And Gervonta is one of the fastest and hardest punchers in the game right now. So it's great to see that it's maxing out. It needs to be kind of acting like it's pulling down the bar and creating a stronger foundation. Getting them lats and upper back involved to create them foundations. It's just kind of like letting it drop down. A lot of force taken on by the shoulder joint here. Act like you're pulling it down, keep the core tense, create that strong foundation, and then really fire up through it. But what's he lifting there? He's lifting 90 kilos. I'm thinking that he'll probably walk around 70 kilos. So he's doing about 1.2 times his body weight. This is pretty strong. So this is great to see. Okay, we've got some banded press ups, something that we use quite often at Boxing Science. What I would say about his technique here, it's not getting that full extension, so full use of the triceps. And the main reason why we do banded press ups is to increase that length tension relationship and the force at the end range of the punch. So with Gervonta just stopping at this mid range here, it's increasing kind of pec activation. This might be something that he's going for. But in terms of like transferring that towards a punch, you want to be kind of accelerating all the way through that mid phase and towards the end range of the punch. Performing these banded press ups can be quite challenging on the core. His upper body's lifting first and then his hips are dropping. This is something that you can often see when doing banded press ups. What you'd want to see more is that his hips being lifted, his belly button tucked in. This would be quite hard to do with the stance that he's doing at the moment. He's got one foot on top of the other. This is creating more tension on the core. So if you're struggling with this doing banded press ups, just set your feet a little bit wider. This creates a stronger foundation, less demand on the core, and you'll get a better posture whilst doing the banded press ups. A great exercise, just execute it a little bit differently so then that can transfer towards boxing. So a quick break to tell you more about who we are and what we do. We're Boxing Science, we're specialists in sports science in boxing, and we're based in the UK. We've worked with over 300 boxers, from amateurs, professionals, and even world champion athletes. We're specialists in strength and conditioning, nutrition, psychology, physiology, and also movement training for boxing. If you're wanting to find out more about our methods, we've got a range of different content on our YouTube channel. So if you're not a subscriber yet, hit the subscribe button for more content. But also we've got our range of programs on the Boxing Science website, including the Train Like Champion membership, where you can access the blueprint to elite performance for just £19.99 per month. If you're wanting more information, the link is in the description. Now let's kick on with the video. So this short clip here is Gervonta Davis explaining the importance of strength and conditioning. It's quite refreshing to see.
The fighters that's coming up now, they don't do strength and conditioning. They just think it's just boxing. When you in there with grown men and you throw them shots and they not feeling no type of weight off your punches, then that's a problem, because you gotta have enough power to back some of these grown men up. It's an important piece to have, you know, that strength and conditioning, for sure.
Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Everybody tired at this point? It's all about who's left tired.
I just don't never want to be like, I want enough failing because of myself, you know, so I always want to do more. But if that day does come, I say that, you know, I did give it my all, but I don't see that day coming no time soon.
I think we need a room like that at Boxing Science. It looks pretty cool kind of place to train, especially with the highlights on the wall. Stuff like Gervonta Davis is saying there, it's fantastic to hear as a strength and conditioning coach, seeing the importance of it, not just thinking about his punch power, because obviously it's naturally a fast and hard puncher, knockout artist, but he's talking about the physicalities of boxing. Technically, you might be a lot better. When you get into professional boxing, especially when you go up the levels, somebody can be physically tougher than you, can make it into a much tougher fight. So great that he's not neglecting that strength and conditioning, that physical side of his performance. The main thing that stood out to me in that little clip there is how he's saying that he wants to be the best he can be. He don't want to be reflecting on ever he loses that he didn't put his all in. And that's something that we really highlight at Boxing Science. We've got on the wall here, master things that take no talent. Everything in this gym, in terms of strength and conditioning, high intensity conditioning, movement training, plyometrics, the nutrition, the recovery take zero talent. And that can add so much more to your game. And it's great to see somebody as successful as Gervonta Davis and as talented, as naturally blessed as him physically as well, to still highlight the importance of getting you all in the training camp. So let's take a look at some of his conditioning work. He does some long steady state runs, but what's great to see is that he's doing some sprint work on the hill, which looks absolutely gruesome. And then he's doing some track work as well, looking like he's doing some repeated sprint work here. So performing like repeated sprint work is really important for Gervonta Davis, and his kind of fighting style, his genetic makeup is predominantly fast twitch muscle fibers. He's a power puncher that works in bursts. The spikes in intensity and the high force production stimulate like kind of high muscular acidosis, so high spikes in lactic acid. And also is quite muscular for his weight because of his short stature. He's got more muscle. So all this kind of leads into being exposed to kind of high amounts of lactic acid. Doing repeated sprint training can help reduce them spikes in lactic acid and muscular acidosis, but also can increase his tolerance to it as well. You can see on that sprint, he's really feeling it in his legs, and he's having to produce more force and speed and intent under them high amounts of fatigue. This is something that we do at Boxing Science with our 30-second max out sprints in terms of being able to tolerate them high lactates, but we also look to try and control it with our muscle buffering capacity runs, whether that's like a longer interval of 2 minutes on, 3 minutes off, 12 seconds on, 48 seconds off, repeated sprint training. We take blood samples, monitor their lactate levels to make sure that they're working in that zone to help improve their muscle buffering capacity. Okay, so we've got some core work going off here. We've got like a plank into press up. I like this move. This is something that I've used quite often. Doing it on like a half Bosu ball, which will increase the stability demands. What I would say with this is a little bit fast. Looks like a little bit fatigued as well, so he's moving his hips quite a lot. If you're going to be doing this, make sure that you're keeping them hips stable, performing it slower. Start from the floor first and then move on to like something like a Bosu ball, a balanced board, a Swiss ball. But I think that this is a great move, just needs to be executed in the right way. It's trap bar deadlift, and it's called yielding isometrics. Before going to the yielding isometrics part, just like to mention, boom, this is probably the first clip that I've seen Gervonta Davis doing something to strengthen the lower body or go for lower body explosiveness. We predominantly look to try and improve lower body force production because this has the biggest transfer towards punching action. Obviously, we're talking about one of the pound for pound biggest punches, so it seems ridiculous, but in a normal strength and conditioning plan, we'd look to try and include more lower body lifts. Obviously, I've got limited clips of usage of social media, so I might do a lot more. Definitely try and include more lower body focused lifts in your strength and conditioning plan. So we use isometric training in the Boxing Science programs quite often, but we normally go for a different type. We go for something called overcoming isometrics, a 3 to 5 second hold between 90% and 100% maximum effort. And this is more focused towards neuromuscular adaptations and increasing the rate of force development. That has a massive transfer towards a fast and explosive athlete. Now this move here that Gervonta Davis is doing is called yielding isometrics, where he starts from the top, he drops down to the midpoint and he holds it there for somewhere between 20 and 40 seconds. He increases the mTOR signaling pathways, which helps improve strength and muscular hypertrophy. It also increases time under tension as well. So if you're looking to increase muscular hypertrophy in a functional way, this is a fantastic exercise to use because activating the fast twitch muscle fibers, gaining some great time under tension and activating the mTOR signaling pathways that can increase muscular hypertrophy. But you're doing this under less eccentric stress. You're not going to get as sore from it. Limiting factor, aiming for muscular hypertrophy, is the high eccentric loads that you go under that can have an impact on your boxing. In these next few clips, you'll see Gervonta Davis using the sauna suit or sweatsuit. Now, this is something that I've posted quite a lot on social media and Instagram, the usage of sauna suits in boxing, and it sparks a bit of debate because people like it, people have been using it for years, and then there's some people, like the kind of the new school, that'll be like, why are people wearing sauna suits still? It has a place, but I wouldn't use it all the time. Where I would use it is for the lower intensity runs to get them extra percentages of adaptation. So you can see that Gervonta Davis is using it here. You know, Gervonta Davis is using it for the majority of his training, whether that's on the speed ball, whether that's doing his strength and conditioning, doing his high intensity work, but also using it during sparring as well. Now, at Boxing Science, we're big promoters of increasing and optimizing the intensity to be able to promote physical adaptation. What the sauna suit does, increases your core temperature, which will increase the physical demands, which will reduce the amount of intensity that you can put into your sessions. So that's the last thing that we want for when we're trying to optimize intensity to promote physical adaptations. So I wouldn't use the sauna suit all the time, but what I would do is use it for kind of them longer and slower intensity runs. Now, another consideration to make is when you are using the sauna suit is how dehydrated you become. An athlete of Gervonta Davis's size, if he's training for an hour, he could lose 6 pounds whilst doing that. So he can end up being like 3 to 5% dehydrated. This will have a big impact on his training performance towards the back end of the session, increase the likelihood of injury and illness, might affect like his hydration going into the second session of the day. If you are using a sauna suit, I'd be like aiming to be using it for 30 to 40 minutes max, and to make sure that you're monitoring your hydration levels, how much weight that you've lost through sweat, and then giving yourself some rehydration targets after using the sauna suit. Okay, so we've got some Medball slams here. These look quite laboured. I think this is part of a conditioning circuit or something like that. Medball slams, a big part of the Boxing Science program, increased rate of force development, working on that trunk explosiveness. For most of our athletes, whether that's a strength speed strength phase, even in the taper phase as well. And we do like sets of 5 repetitions to make sure that we're increasing that rate of force development. We also perform it as more or less like kind of single repetitions, so making sure that our athletes are resetting before they're performing each repetition to maximize that rate of force development. So we also use it as a conditioning tool as part of our circuits, because it's utilized as a full body that can increase a lactate response, and can also increase heart rate response as well. But we're making sure that we're performing this with speed and intent. So if we're doing this over like a 15-second period or 20-second period, we'll give an athlete a target amount of reps. So it's not grinding through it like Gervonta is here, just like kind of rep after rep. We're wanting that speed and intent in there. If we've got a 15-second interval, we're going to be aiming for about 15 repetitions, so 1 rep per second. This will make sure that we're targeting them spikes in muscular acidosis, but also spikes in heart rate as well. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this Boxing Science Reacts video. Really impressed with Gervonta Davis. Some of his exercise selection, general approach to strength and conditioning, his work ethic, his attitude, all fantastic. So I'm really impressed by him. I really enjoyed doing this Boxing Science Reacts video. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you've got any questions about any of the topics raised, please leave them in the comment box below. And let us know any superstars that you want us to react to. If you're not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, press the like button. Hopefully see you on the next episode of Boxing Science Reacts.